Thank you, panelists from down below. Welcome to VidLift. I'm Dave from Texas Family Camping. I have been muted. I see that everyone has left now. We're down to 2 viewers because I was muted. That's excellent. Great stuff. And we are going to review 2 videos just like we always do. And I will bring up our panelists here and introduce them in some kind of order. I think we will start with the guy covering his mouth. Oh, he popped up real fast. Hey there, Steve Turtle. Don't forget to unmute you.
Hey, how you doing? Thank you, David. Thanks for that introduction. I wasn't laughing at you. I was not. I'm Steve Turtle, and I do videos about work camping and adventures and travel and all that good stuff. We're traveling right now, and I'm running behind a little bit, but I'm glad to be here, and I hope we're going to have a good night. And everybody over in the chat, make sure you join in the conversation and write down or chat your questions or comments or anything about what we're talking about. And that's it.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Next up, we've got Scott from McGuire's on Tires. Tell us a little bit about yourselves, guys.
Hey guys, it's always great to be with you. The McGuire's on Tires is just my family of 4, myself, my wife, Carrie, my 13-year-old daughter, Chloe, and my 9-year-old daughter, Sophie. We enjoy traveling around. As some of you guys like to say, we're anytimers. If we can hit the road, we're going to hit the road and go check out some cool things. Sometimes we find pretty things like the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. That's just a few hours from us. Or sometimes we do crazy adventures like zip lines or whitewater rafting. We just get into whatever fun we can find. And sometimes we have a weekly live stream where we give away things, like when Steve Turtle wins a t-shirt on our Monday live stream. I bet you can't wait to see him in that t-shirt.
Awesome sauce. I know I can't wait to see him in that t-shirt. That's going to be interesting. All right, let's bring up our last contestant on The Price is Right. Here we've got Jody from Donovan on the Wayside.
I'm so sorry. It's so hot here. I actually muted on purpose if you check the chat. Woo, it's hot. Sorry, drinking my blackberry juice. Good for you. You guys ever seen these? Neck fans? They cool off your head while you're walking around? I guess the air conditioning is good enough. I guess I don't need that. RV on the Wayside. Yes, I'm Jody, and my husband is Donovan. That's so funny, not funny. I'm Donovan, and we try to make funny videos and just want to entertain people. That's really our main focus. I don't even know why I'm here. Why are we here, Dave?
Well, we're going to review videos here in just a moment. I want to just give a quick update as well on us. We are actually on the other side of the Rocky Mountains. I took our RV up the mountains and down the mountains yesterday. Man alive, are my arms, legs, and everything else tired? So we're on a fun trip out on the road, enjoying the RV life. So let's get this show on the road. Let's first take a look at Be Ready. Are y'all ready? Can you be ready? All right, here we go.
Can't waste any part.
Why are you calling chicken meat birds?
Why am I calling chicken meat birds? Because they are meat birds, but they're chickens. What do you think about it?
So cows are meat cows?
Meat beef?
No, meat cows. You know, meat birds, meat animals,
Well,
meat stock.
All right. So we will do in our traditional fashion. I start with the person to this direction. You know, with the cameras and the mirrors, and I I don't. Is this my left? Does it look okay? All right, Steve Turtle, take it away.
First off, I love chicken, and I know what meat chicken is, or meat bird. I know what that is. I love the hook because it's just text, but you start off with this video shows graphic, uncooked, and cooked meat birds. First off, if you don't know what a meat bird is, you want to look and you want to find out. And number two, graphic, uncooked, and cooked. You know, the news shows it to you all the time. The scenes you may see are terrible, but we're going to show them to you anyway. People love to see that stuff. So I like the hook. I thought that was pretty cool. And I think in the beginning, the cuts could have been a little bit shorter. I think maybe if there's some transition, I would have just did pop, pop, pop. Just something to try for maybe next time. And then the second hook, when we talk about meat birds and we're discussing the logic, I think is pretty cool. But afterwards, it's a lot of talk and we see a lot of chicken. And I think if we had thrown in some B-roll over top of that, either show my face, talk a little bit, and then show chicken, or maybe list the different types of those types of birds or meat cows, and maybe show some pictures or something. But I think you could have broke that up just a little bit, and it would have made it, flow a little better. And that's it. That's all I got to say.
I really like what you're doing. You're showing us how to cook the meat birds. I mean, it's cool. If I've got two things that really stand out in this clip. One is just something you might not notice when you're editing, but you've got to step back and be able to watch it from a fresh point of view or get somebody to look at it before you put it up. The volume of the tinfoil was way louder than everything else. As a matter of fact, I was watching this earlier and my daughter was walking through doing something totally different. Went, oh my gosh, that's so loud, just out of nowhere. I just watched, something like that. You don't think about how loud it really is compared to everything else. So just that one little thing, pull it down. And then the meat bird discussion, I want to offer a tip to everybody. This is a general tip about when you're editing. All of the dialogue happened off camera. So we're not seeing anybody's mouth move. We don't have to sync up any kind of audio to any kind of video. So what I noticed was during that audio or during that segment about talking about the meat birds, every time we changed to a new bit or a new speaker, the video cut. And there was it's just a little gyration is not the right word, a little movement in the camera. And we didn't need that. What you could have done is pulled the audio out that you needed and let there be one continuous video. But to Steve's point, that's a long time for one continuous video. Some B-roll on top of that, because once you pull that audio out, you can adjust and put any video on top of it you need to. So that's a general tip to everybody. Don't feel like you're locked into what you recorded. Pull the audio out, get the audio like you need it, and then you can put whatever video or still photos, anything on top of it, because you've already got the story going underneath it. And that's what I got. But I do like meat bird. I'm a fan of meat bird.
Well, first of all, I was gonna save it for round table, but I can't hold myself together. You guys know that. So what Steve said about, it'd be nice if you showed some of those meat birds or something. What you could have done is 8 hours earlier and then show some chickens running around in some footage while you guys are doing your dialogue. It would have been hilarious. I thought so. I'm sorry. It just occurred to me when he said that. That's something I would do. I love the intro. I wish it was the words at the very beginning. I wish they were just a tad bit longer, because you said advice instead of advised. So just because you might not have caught that. So unless you were giving meat bird advice, instead of warning that there's advice, it's advised. It's a little thing, but nobody cares. And plus, it went so fast, I had to stop so I could read it all. And she was right. Your pattern was meat cows. It's not meat beef. That's a whole different pattern. She's all over. And you guys are adorable. I love your dialogue, and they mentioned some of the other things, so I don't need to, but I loved your dialogue and the way you guys go back and forth, and it was fun to listen to. What do you think?
I really want to know what exactly is not a meat bird. Like, could we like compile a list? Maybe people could type in the chat. What would be a bird that is not a meat bird? I would love to know more about that. And meat cows and all this kind. I'm hungry right now. So if we just want to talk about meat in the chat, that'd be awesome.
I don't think we're eating eagles, so that would not be a meat bird.
Ooh, we saw a bald eagle yesterday.
Oh.
Anyway. This video was a lot of fun. The music was popping and awesome. Scott was right. The tinfoil, I didn't realize it. I wasn't wearing the headphones when I prepared for the show yesterday. And so now I have the headphones on. I'm like, wow, that foil is pretty loud. I liked the use of the way that they cooked as far as like the bricks and everything, like just kind of showing us their way of preparing the chicken. That was fun. Is there somebody out there that gets offended by raw chicken? I encountered one employee at Walmart one time that like had a nervous breakdown because she had to scan my raw chicken, but it's the only person, I guess, if she's watching your videos. I was really ready for more bees in this video. I felt like the readiness for bees was kind of a letdown. I felt like we should have had some bees somewhere swarming across the screen, even some graphics, bees. I've gotten so used to saying be ready over the last 24 hours. I've just been having bees on the mind. I really did like the jokes that they had. Their interactions talking afterwards was a lot of fun. When they sent the email, they actually didn't say the specific time frame they wanted. And so I just kind of reviewed that, and I liked from the start through, and I cut it like right at a specific joke that ended because I felt it was a lot of fun to watch it that way. So I thought it was a lot of fun. Definitely could have used some shorter cuts there in the beginning, and really do like Donovan's idea. I'd love to see someone chasing some chickens. You know what? I want to see Donovan in a video chasing a chicken with a fork and a knife, and then cut to Jody handing him a net. Be like, you need the right tools. All right, let's take a second look at this video, and then we'll go around the round table.
Can't waste any part.
Why are you calling chicken meat birds?
Why am I calling chicken meat birds? Because they are meat birds, but they're chickens. What do you think about it?
So cows are meat cows?
Meat beef?
No, meat cows. Meat birds, meat animals,
Well,
meat stock.
So how about a milk bird? What is a milk bird?
I don't know what a milk bird is.
Okay.
But did you see some of the other comments about like vegetarian might be offended, or I mean, anytime you put any kind
That's a good
of blood,
point.
guts, or raw anything, you probably should mention. I mean, you're going to cut up a raw carrot, you better let them know ahead of time. I mean, a raw, meat.
No, yeah, you're right. A raw carrot because there's somebody out there somewhere.
Oh, there's a meat bird. Oh, I saw one. Steve, you are.
What? All right. I don't think in the whole video it was discussed what a meat bird is.
Yes, it's a chicken.
What?
It's a chicken.
No.
He said meat bird, chicken. He said
I know.
It like that.
I don't know if that's what they meant, but chicken breeds are bred for different things. There's egg layers and there's meat birds. The ones that are meat birds are plumper. They're bigger. They have more meat. If you try to eat an egg laying bird, you get bones. So they
are eggs meat birds?
Say again?
Are eggs meat birds, Steve Turtle?
No,
I
they're
didn't
eggs.
know. Oh,
They're
okay. I didn't know we had an aficionado in here. I'm glad I'm
Did you
learning.
know that when a turtle is born, it is on its own? There's no mother or father. They survive solely on the will to live. Anyway, no, seriously.
And you made it. Congratulations.
It was a long way. No, seriously. There's birds of different breeds that are bred for certain things.
That's
I'm
cool.
just saying. I used to raise chickens.
Go ahead, Scott. You need to go.
I don't want to mess up this intriguing study in meat birding awareness, but I do want to say that that hook, I agree with Steve. The hook was great, and when we cut, it would have been cool, not necessarily to go back 8 hours, but maybe to go back a little bit and give us some tips. Like, clearly, this is not his first time throwing the meat bird on the fire. Are there some tricks you use to keep from having hot spots on the fire? What kind of marinade do you use? What are you doing to make your meat birds taste so good? And when you say we don't waste any parts, well, I'm sure you didn't leave that one part on the grill as long as the other parts. So what are some of the tricks? I would like that could have been right after the hook. How did we get to this point? But we went straight from the hook to the meat bird discussion, which was nice. I think we could have moved that a little later and put some information, immediately shared some information.
So the 8 hours thing, I mean, there's video clips out there that are free to use. So you can have somebody run around. It doesn't have to be you. You can grab those ones that are common, what do they call it? Royalty free footage, and just pop that in, chasing it while you're doing your little discussion. I think that would have been great. I got to tell you, the first time I was watching the skin, because I stopped and paused and read the entire beginning, and he's peeling that skin up and back and forth, and I'm like, it's kind of gross. And then on the second time I watched it, I got the humor, and I'm laughing the whole time. I'm like, he's trying to torment me. This is funny. The montage. You do a montage later in this video where you're actually doing the cooking part. And it was amazing. I loved the way you were flipping and it jumped to another one, and it was kind of cool. When it came to the part you just talked about, Scott. So the other thing, like what he was saying, he'd like to see some of the things like prior to this. Maybe you could show a piece of chicken getting put on the grill and you flopped it over sideways and it went into the fire or something, and you had to take it out. Or some mistakes, and then you can talk about how you be gentle and show some of the things you do wrong on purpose while you're telling the things that you're doing as you're going along. Might be kind of fun too.
Yeah, that's a good point, Donovan. A couple of weeks ago we talked about what the changing moment was for us in YouTube. And for me, it was when I realized it doesn't all have to be perfect. We enjoy watching things that mess up. That's why people enjoy watching the McGuires. We enjoy watching things that mess up.
That's in one of those unspoken rules. We don't actually say it out loud. What are you guys doing? We're on a show.
I saw the door of the RV open.
Jill, check his face for glitter. I love the prepping. I really did. I thought it was fun. The tinfoil could have been a little shorter cut. Rip, and go. Like Steve said. But I like the montaging thing. I think you're getting close. You're like fine tuning it, and I love that stuff.
All right. Well, that was a lot of fun. Steve's over there being quiet because someone's sneaking. Oh, he's unmuted his mic. What do you have to say, Steve?
No, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the video. I like the music, and somewhere around 250, the music changed and the video clips got real jittery, and I think it fit well with the music. I enjoyed that, and the small chunk that was left on the grill, I think that is the tail. I think that's like right. Hold on. I think it's like right here. It's called the nugget. Chicken
my
Anatomy 101.
Ways that you can tell that Scott is back in school being a teacher again. He's doing his best to keep his teacher face over there. He's just not having it. It's like he's dealing with 6th and 7th grade boys again. And
Sorry, Scott.
One thing I've always wondered being a teacher is when you go to the cafeteria, what part of the chicken do you find the chicken nuggets? Or the new thing in cafeterias, where do they get chicken rings? I can only think of a couple parts, and I don't want any of them.
What's a chicken ring, and where have you seen it?
Stop it. Oh, I miss every Tuesday. I really do.
I'm just glad we're not talking about pigs.
I would
love
just
you
like to
guys.
point out that Doreen has something nice to say about this show.
I learned a lot from this show, and I'm always thinking 5 seconds and make it as short as I can, as long as I have to. Using a place, etc. Thanks for doing the show. And thank you for getting us back on track, Maureen and Dave, for putting it up there.
I do like how she said that as short as I can, but as long as it has to be. I like that a lot.
It's been a while, but we should point out, if you're watching any of these shows, one thing, just pick one thing to try differently in each video and slowly learn your way along. That's what all of us do. One day I was like, 5-second rule. Not that one. 5 seconds per clip when you're doing some kind of thing where you're showing scenery and everything, right? So 5 second here, 5 second, and show it, or less or a little more, but keep it random and make it to the music maybe or whatever. But just do one thing different. And then if you like that, keep it, and then try something new on your next one. And let it grow naturally. You guys agree with that at all?
I agree with it.
Yeah, you
Absolutely.
can't try to do everything at once, just a little bit at a time.
And that $5 a piece paid off. Thank you, guys.
Well, when I first started out doing the YouTube thing, I got a great deal on Adobe. That's the reason I started learning Adobe Premiere, was because I got a Black Friday deal on it. And I knew that it was a beast of an application, but I thought, let me just learn the basics right now, and then going forward, I'll apply that same thing. Every time I make a new video, I'll learn one new thing. And most of that was happening in Adobe. And now, year and a half, almost 2 years later, I think I've gotten pretty good at it. I'm still probably only 25% good at it. Not that I'm not good at it, but there's just so much it can do that I don't even use. So applying that to your editing, your shooting, your talking bits, all of that kind of stuff. Just try to improve one thing in every video you make, and next thing you know, you'll be making great videos.
Oh, gosh. Don't put that quote up from Doreen. He deserves it. Second to last.
Yeah, truth be told, I stole it too. I found one and I liked it, and it stuck.
There's somebody,
Steve.
Steve from Desert Adventures. His video we watched last week was phenomenal. Definitely showing that he's applying stuff he's learning from this show, and wherever. It doesn't have to be learned from this show. Wherever you're learning it from, use that information to get better.
Nursing Our Travels Bug said they learned something about these beef bird nuggets.
Hey, you wanted to be on track. I was avoiding that one. Since we've gone there,
Jeez.
Don't make me start watching the schedule.
We're right on time. How amazing is that?
Where's Carrie? So you can tell her to stop touching the mouse. All right, y'all ready to head up to our second video, and then we can goof off after that one, I suppose?
I got all my stuff in. That was a great video. Thank you guys for submitting that. And how do they submit it?
They submitted it by sending an email to vidliftinfo@gmail.com. You can find that email scrolling below the bottom. We've got some people in here that most of y'all in here have submitted, but there's a few of you that are watching the show right now that haven't submitted anything yet.
Nursing Our Travel Bug.
We would love to examine some of your videos, but we won't just grab them. You got to send them in because we don't want to get in trouble. We want your permission to air them. So please, there's an air travel bug. Send that in. All right. I did not have time to get this one queued up like I usually do, so this might take me a second longer to get this rolling here.
We're going old school. Woo!
Wing
Old
it.
school.
Wing it. The 10 unwritten camping rules? No? Keep watching and I'll tell you. Stop that. What are you doing? You know you can't drink alcohol outside your camper.
So old school, it has to buffer. I'm so sorry, everybody. Let's get this thing going here. I didn't have time to get this one downloaded and prepped up like I usually do. So seeing if I can get a little lead here on the buffer. Like we said, old school. Look at that little gray line there. Isn't that cool? Oh, that's amazing. I know this is so boring. Let's watch the people leaving. Doreen knows what's up. While we're waiting, Nursing Our Travel Bug says, how does one pick just 1 minute? Donovan is looking to help out. Oh, Scott McGuire. Unmute yourself.
Yeah, I think if you can decide what your goal is, if you just want to feel good about what you've done, pick your best minute of your best video and submit that, and we'll tell you all the great things you did. If you want to feel all black and blue and bloody, submit the worst minute of the worst video and send it in, and we will beat it up as much as you want. If you have a particular area that you've been working on, like for me, my last few videos, I've really been working on the first minute and the retention. So I've been sharing with these guys. I just send them a text and say, look at the first minute for me and help me with this. And the feedback I've gotten has helped me make that better. Or whatever it is you've been working on, submit that. We're happy to share the things that are working and the things that we'd change. That's what I would do. Figure out what your focus is and submit that.
All right, let's see if we can get this going again.
Do you know the 10 unwritten camping rules? No? Keep watching and I'll tell you. Stop that. What are you doing? You know you can't drink alcohol outside your camper. Give me that. And your pants and your shirt, they don't match. What are you wearing? Hi, I'm Steve Turtle, and I'm a work camper, and it's good to be in charge. If you're a return visitor, welcome back. If this is your first time here, you should subscribe and ring that bell. If you ring the bell, you'll get a notification every time I post a new story. You don't want to miss one. Last week, I talked about 6 free petting zoos here in the Amish country of Lancaster, Pennsylvania. And we had a blowout wet wagon ride here at Millbridge Village Camp Resort. Now, if you missed either of those stories and you'd like to see them, I'll leave a link or 2 right up there. This week, I'm talking about those 10 unwritten camping rules, the enforcement. And I'm going to sing a song about Gus. So come on, got a lot to talk about. Let's get right to it.
What a perfect way to end it right there with those gentlemen on this screen. Let's bring everybody.
You know that.
Oh, wait.
Oh.
What'd I do? All right. Everybody's up here all backwards. That's fine because Donovan's going first on this one.
Okay. It's tough for me to compliment these guys, just so everybody in the audience knows, and I think you figured it out by now. I actually really love them, but you know what I mean. I want you to notice next time we play this, right after the intro parts, did you notice it almost looks like it's not a separate piece when we cut to Steve Turtle? And it does this in almost all his intros. He's laughing like he's continuing on from what just happened, and it feels like it's all one piece. It's so brilliant. He's laughing right at the start, so it's like he just came from that same scene, and it feels like he just filmed it all one after another, and it's so clever. And that's really hard to compliment him. And I hope he does it on purpose. He'll tell us. And I got to tell you, I love it when he's doing his thing and then all of a sudden he zooms in. I mean, we all know we're supposed to do it, but he times it so well. You're like, oh, that was awesome, because that's where he should. He accented it by doing a quick hop in. So editing wise, great. Humor is just terrible. I mean, it's wonderful too. I can't argue with that. Everybody knows Steve Turtle's funny. I love it. I don't have any suggestions, Steve. Never change your intro music. I'm so jealous. I love it. Scott?
There are two things that Steve Turtle is the master of. One is the hook. Steve is the master of the hook. And two, Steve is the master of the pattern interrupt. If you don't know pattern interrupt, go to the Google machine right now, type in pattern interrupt. If you're just watching a video and it's just plodding along, you need something to keep your attention. Steve is the master. Oh my gosh, Steve's looking it up right now. He's the master. What am I the master of? If you're just watching a video, it's just plodding along. You need something to draw your attention back in. That could be an angle change of your camera. That could be like he actually does this. It could be the voice inflection. It could be putting in some B-roll. Steve, in the clip we just watched, he put in some visuals. There were some visual elements that popped in, but that wasn't enough because some people will sit their phone down and go wash the dishes while they're listening or something. So Steve put in a little sound effect. It's genius. It's nothing over the top. It's just enough to draw you back in when you start to zone out and go, okay, I've been watching this for 15 seconds. What's next? If you go back and watch, I do this sometimes. I didn't do this on this one. I would count how many seconds there are between each pattern interrupt. It ain't many. He's not going to let you get more than about 4 seconds without getting something that changes and draws your attention back in. So if ever you want to know how to get people to want to watch more, go pick about 4 or 5 of Steve's videos and watch just the first minute and pay attention to what he does and write down what are the things he does and then find what's in common, steal it from Steve. So there's the hook and then his pattern interrupts. Just write down what are the things he does that change. Is it a camera angle? Is it a voice inflection? Is there some sort of music? Is there some sort of visual graphic? I mean, Steve is the master of both of those. If I had to give something that I would suggest differently in there, the music and the audio on some of those graphics are a little loud compared to the voice volume. It doesn't overpower, but it's enough that your ear has to work a little harder. I just pull those down and leave the voice where it is. But dude, Steve, you are the master of the intro. I mean, the hook and the pattern interrupt. You're a rock star.
When I first started researching what to do for YouTube, one of the biggest recommendations was don't do comedy, because everybody said comedy is something that's really hard to pull off and it's really hard to get people to pay attention. Steve Turtle has mastered that. It's hilarious. It's fun. It's so, I mean, what's with the monkey? I was laughing so hard. Like, why is there a monkey on your back? Oh, I get it. It's just such a great video. Now, what he's done is it's a great combination, because I think what they're implying when they say don't do comedy is it's not something people are going to search for. I don't know what my hands are doing right now. It's not something people are going to Google search for. Show me the latest comedian on YouTube. They're not going to do that. So what Steve has done here is he has brought about a subject matter that people do search for, and then he brings comedy with it, which is just so much fun. And what that does is after the people start watching it, they want to keep watching this guy because they made him laugh. And that is really useful. Anything I would have possibly done differently, I would have just kept playing the video longer. It looked like a great video. All right, Steve, we've all blown kisses your way. Now it's your turn to say something about your videos.
Yeah, you guys are too kind. You're too kind. Come on. Something. It's something's wrong. You know, I really do appreciate what everybody said. I do. I appreciate that. And I try in my research about videos, I try to keep it as snappy as I can. Sometimes I think I overdo it, but you know, remember that B-roll is not just video and pictures. B-roll is sound effects.
Steve? Steve Turtle, are you there? Help! Oh, he may not even know oh, poor Steve Turtle. Can someone go and check on Steve Turtle? Oh, he's moving. He's moving. Oh, are you there?
You guys are a mess.
We're a mess.
Yeah. So anyway, you guys are too kind. You were supposed to tear me up. I'm going to tear myself up. I actually started this format and then I got away from it. And I'll explain why. I now do it a little bit different. Back then, and maybe somebody in the chat can tell me what they think. But in the very beginning, you know, I did my hook and then I had an intro, that whole stories, you know, work camper stories and all that, and the music that Donovan likes. But really all that did was for, I don't know, 5-6 seconds. It just said, I did something about work camping, lifestyle, adventures, and travel. And I thought, well, that was sort of wasteful. I could be, you know, providing some good content. So what I do now is I do the same thing, except I do it as a part of the video itself. So I just put a subtitle down here and, you know, it sort of gets my brand out there. I stopped doing I'm Steve Turtle and I'm a work camper, because I figure if you're there, you look down at the channel name, you see that. And so that information I thought was, I don't know, it was there. So I cut out some of those things thinking that was just filler. So I'm trying to squeeze everything down. Now, at the time that I was doing this video, I actually had 3 parts to my video. I start off with an introduction, and then the first part was something silly. The middle part was something about work camping. And then the ending part was something silly. But looking through my analytics, that last little silly part, people started to go away because the work camper part was gone. So the only people that was left is those people wanting that little bit of, you know, comedic inspiration or whatever you want to call it. So I stopped doing that. So I throw the comedy throughout the video, you know, doing silly things, but I haven't really followed through on that format in a long time. The other thing I did is something that my lovely wife hates with the news is I would come up and talk about what I did last week and then what I'm doing this week. So I sort of talk about the 3 things that I'm going to do this week, like talk about Gus, but I talk about that early on so that people that are interested in that know that it's coming up. I don't know if that was good content, so I don't do it anymore. Now, this particular video, in the first 27 seconds, I had 80% of those that started to watch. And I sort of held on to about 60% all the way through about the 5, almost a little over the halfway mark. So I held 60% of those people. When I said there were 10 things I was going to talk about, when I said the 10th thing, everybody went away. That was it. They went away. They heard the 10. But I continued another 3 or 4 minutes talking about Gus and some other things. I even threw in a bonus, and the bonus was a hook to a live stream. But everybody went away. The video finished at the very end. I had 12% of what I started with. So it was nice and level, coming across a little over half, and then it went like that. So that last little bit, nobody really wanted to watch that. So I sort of got away from that. Now I've squeezed everything, and now my videos are somewhere around 5 minutes. This one was like a little over 9. And, I get that decent, retention, and it doesn't fall off as quick. So I changed it up. I don't know. I think Harvey on the white side says he likes it the way it is. But I do appreciate everybody, and I just continue to try to, do things and look at my analytics, and hopefully I can continue to get better.
Well, thanks for that, Steve. That was very nice. I mean, we all love your video, but it's nice for you to break down that analytics, and for everybody that's watching, they can actually understand why you would make a change. And I agree. I mean, when we watch, there's some videos out there where there's people that they don't even film their own footage. They use nothing but stock footage, and they'll say something like the top 10 craziest tents on the market. Well, I know that because I'm looking at tents all the time. But they save that number 1 for the very last thing. They'll do some honorable mentions and some other jokes or whatever, and they try to get everybody to hang on to that last number 1. So that is a very good point. All right, let's take another look at this video. Hopefully it's all queued up now.
Do you know the 10 unwritten camping rules? No? Keep watching and I'll tell you.
Stop that. What are you doing? You know you can't drink alcohol outside your camper. Give me that. And your pants and your shirt, they don't match. What are you wearing?
Hi, I'm Steve Turtle, and I'm a work camper, and it's good to be in charge. If you're a return visitor, welcome back. If this is your first time here, you should subscribe and ring that bell. If you ring the bell, you'll get a notification every time I post a new story. You don't want to miss one. Last week, I talked about 6 free petting zoos here in the Amish country of Lancaster, Pennsylvania. And we had a blowout wet wagon ride here at Millbridge Village Camp Resort. Now, if you missed either of those stories and you'd like to see them, I'll leave a link or 2 right up there. This week, I'm talking about those 10 unwritten camping rules, the enforcement. And I'm going to sing a song about Gus. So come on, got a lot to talk about. Let's get right to it. Who cares?
Oh, that was great. I had to see what they said there at the end. That was too funny.
Who cares?
Who cares?
So,
Steve, that was a good point. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Donovan.
no, you go ahead, Scott. I always talk.
That was a good point that you pulled out the intro. I paid more attention that time. That was about 40 seconds of video that, like you said, doesn't need to be there. That was really smart on your part.
Well, I had did it for a long time. I thought it was, you talk about what you did last week. So if somebody missed it, they could go back and look. And then I thought if I talked about what I'm doing this week, it sort of sets up people. But then I don't know, between myself and some friends and my wife, we talked about it and decided, that really doesn't fit. And I started looking at analytics and I was like, I'll just squeeze all that out. I'll try to still get that information out, but I'm just going to do it differently. I'll do it quicker. So I've just, I try to squeeze as much as I can out of it.
On Steve Turtle's defense, he did beg us to be hard on him. And it really, I don't know about those guys. I really tried to look for something. So now that you've talked, now listen, no, I'm serious. Dude, you really do have you've got a good system. I don't know that I'd play with it much. It's really solid, unless you're just doing little tweaks, trying to get over that next hook. But the one thing you said was they stop right after number 1. What if you do the reminder, like show a picture of Gus? No, not yet. You're coming up soon, and then you show number 1 or something. So after number 1, you're like, what's with that puppet? Who's Gus? What you do it so that they know there is something more to see, because they probably are so focused on the 10 they forgot there was something else.
Yeah. I do know that when you finish and you sound like you're finished, people are like, okay, I'm out. I'm going to the next one.
I've turned it into a game for myself in my editing. How short can I make my outro? And I've even, you can take that last 20 seconds and put up your subscribe button and your links to other videos. That's going to be on the screen when your video stops anyway. So I've got a couple of videos where that comes up in the last like 3 seconds, and you go, oh, that was the end of the video. And if you look at the analytics, instead of it going, it goes, and they didn't realize that was the end. What you could do, Steve, is you could just cut that stuff out and say, well, okay, they don't get to see Gus. And that's going to be the end of the video. Or if it's that important, the funny bit, do like what Dave was saying and put it right before number one. In order for you to get to number one, you've got to endure this other funny thing that I've put in here and see if they'll power through. That's one way to handle that.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Good idea.
I had a question about.
Oh, I'm going.
Well, you continue your thought. What you were saying was cut.
Oh, I just wanted to say I've looked at analytics and taken videos and cut out the ending, and then go back later and look at them and see how it stabilizes that drop.
And does it?
Yeah, normally yes, especially if you can end it quick.
And what that tells YouTube is you've got a video that people want to watch all the way through, and you're not losing viewers. And so the algorithm goes, maybe we should share this with more folks. They might enjoy it more because your average view duration, your AVD is higher because, well, I'm sorry, not your average, your percentage watch, watch time is higher. And so the algorithm says, oh, this is a strong video. That's good, Steve.
I had a question about your body double. Who do you change shirts with to hand you in the other part the drink? Is that Jill? She's your official body double?
She is my body double. She throws things for me. She's thrown a lot of wood at me. She's chucked, my wood.
Haven't you ever noticed how better that arm looks?
And yeah, that was a nice looking arm. But she did put my shirt on for that one. So, yeah.
If I tried that, somebody would pick up on the fact that the hand changes color.
Well, and the drunk guy in the chair, that was William.
We were talking earlier about not doing comedy. Steve does it in such a way that somebody said earlier, sometimes you present dry material, but it's just so fun to watch. But like your comment, you're showing some of the things, some of your top 10s. You're saying you can't drink alcohol outside of your RV, and then you go, and your shirt doesn't match your pants. I mean, it's just little things like that it's just really smart. It's smart humor.
And we shouldn't laugh every time we watch it, but I am sick of laughing at that same part. But I can't stop.
I just try little subtle things, and I love playing the different parts. I've I sort of got away from it. I'm going to try to get that back in. Yeah, the 8 personas.
Yes, the crazy 8.
So I'm gonna try harder to get those back in and start working with those. I got to develop. There's a few characters I haven't really developed well, so
you got to work on that Steve Turtle guy the most, though.
Coming soon. Yeah, he's the pain in the butt.
Well, in that case, you've mastered that.
Yeah, he's the most opinionated. The rest of them just go along with the flow.
Hey, we've had a few comments come up, and I wanted to first bring up this question from Doreen from Camping Therapy. Wanting to know if there's a way to extend her phone battery life when she's filming. I know for us, we have a couple of little batteries that we can use to plug in, but it's going to be a little bit cumbersome as you're going to have a couple of items to hold. But that's what I do to try to extend it. Anybody else have any other tips?
I take one of those battery packs and a little longer cable, and I just stick the battery pack in my pocket and just run with the cable on one other end. And when I don't need it, I unplug it, turn that off, and then when it gets close again, I put it back up off the long cable in my pocket, and I can keep going.
I've done that from the backpack. We've got a pretty big battery, and I've done a 6-foot cable. So yeah, it's a little bit annoying to have that cable coming up, but then, still filming.
But it's only when you're short, right? Only when you're short of battery.
Right.
You don't need it the rest of the time. When I get down about 20%, I plug it in, If I see it's over 50, I'll pull it back out even at 50 and keep going.
There are some cases out there as well, depending on the brand of phone you've got. There are companies that make cases that have an external battery. It's going to make it bigger, bulkier, and heavier, but it will put it all in one. So that is another option.
But those won't fit in your tripod and those kinds of things. So
Gimbal.
They're going to be a lot. That's good if you're doing it by hand, right?
Right. Yep. What about you two below? Any other options?
I carry 3 phones.
Okay.
I carry 3 phones.
I was gonna say the charging case. And Doreen asked if they're expensive. I just typed it in on the Amazons, and number 1 comes up at $36.99. Number 2 is all the way up to $99.95. So depending on what you call expensive, that could be a game changer for you.
Depends on the size usually of the cells of the battery.
And Steve's got his one thing he's learned from today's show. Excellent. Look forward to seeing what he comes up with in the future.
I thought he wanted to buy one of these things. I thought for sure that's what he'd take around.
Looking through here, you guys. Let's see. Oh, here we go. This is a good one. Skipping intros. Who skips intros?
If I've seen the channel many times, I'll often skip them because it's the same thing, and I don't know.
And now that you mention that, Steve, I haven't been putting outros on mine either. I know that the old school way was to do that so they can go on to the next video, but I always lose like all but 10% when I start that, so I just took them out. I don't even do that anymore.
Right.
My videos are short. I mean, they're like 2-3 minutes long now, but that's fine. They're getting good retention that way, so I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
There was a talk. I was talking about making a game with myself. There was one we did recently. We're watching Chloe come in on a zip line. She hits the ground, stands up, walks up, and says, "Man, that was fun." It basically goes like this: cool zip line moment. Man, that was fun. You should try this zip line. And that's the end of the video. Like, we're not going to lose it. There's no time to lose anybody.
By the way, when you said you'd like to show pretty things, are you talking about your haircut, Scott?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No, I wasn't talking about
all day to say that. I was saving that all the way till now. I had it written down from the beginning.
Donovan is looking pretty shiny and glistening tonight. Very pretty.
What?
And then the crowd goes silent.
So what else did he say on that comment?
It was just talking about the favorite shows that you watch, and you watch them every week, and you cut off of this.
Oh, okay.
Netflix and all the others, they're all giving you that option to skip the intro. I'm that musical dork that I typically love it. I mean, seriously, I wish I could pull up the theme song for Community right now and just jam out for you guys with that, but no, I won't do that. Every time I'm like, yes, it's a song.
But not if I've been binge watching and I've just heard it 7 times in the last 2 hours. As a side note, is there anything more offensive than Netflix going, "Hey, fat slob on the couch, you still watching this show?" That offends me every time. Like, yes, I'm
How
still
did you
here.
know mine says that? I thought it was just about me.
I have to get the Cheetos off my chest to get to the remote and go, yes, I'm still watching.
Maybe that's why I canceled Netflix, because they called me a fat slob.
Oh, shoot.
But then they're all doing it.
That's funny.
Doreen's got a tip down there in the chat.
Somebody read it. I read last you.
Just learned on Saturday that I can take a still shot while filming on my phone, and I can pause. All this time, I didn't know that. I've seen Tanya do that with her Samsung phone. How about Apple's? Can Apple's do
What does that mean?
So it's recording. You hit record, right? You're just holding. It's making video.
Yeah.
And there's another button there, and you can actually take stills while it's recording. Of course, if you're real sensitive to the movement, you might wind up with a little extra movement. But yeah, that's an option. I've watched Tanya do it. She's got the Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Plus. So she'll be holding it and filming, and then she's sitting there tapping it, and she's getting still photos out of it at the same time. Look at these guys. They're like, can I do it?
Yeah, this is what it looks like. You've got your recording going, and then there's the take a picture button right there.
Thanks, Doreen. You've helped enlighten both the panel and the crowd.
Oh, I can do it. That's awesome. I learned something. Man, I love the show.
That's the great thing about the show and the forum. And, you're talking about things, and it's just a little trivial thing, but someone in the chat shared something, and we didn't know, and now we know, and everybody else that didn't know, now they know.
I'm just going to tell Jody I just figured it out myself.
Well, yeah.
She can hear me. She knows Noreen.
Well, if Jill wasn't sitting right there, I'd tell her the same thing, but she'll call my bluff.
I know they both are so smart.
Don't tell her some other woman taught you that.
Oh, yeah.
Jody was chatting online with some other woman.
You're going to get me in trouble.
Jody's pretty smart. She knows better.
Yeah, she knows better. She always sees this smile on my face. I can't hide it from her.
You guys ain't right.
Looks like she wants a job.
Yeah, it looks like she needs a job.
Does anybody need a vacation? Anybody need a vacation?
Are we taking nominations?
We'll everybody pick a day, and we'll take a day off.
I can't. I'll lose. I'm learning something. I don't want to give up. I'm too selfish that way.
Most of these are recorded.
Yeah, whatever. We just pre-record your part because you or Dave because you forget your mute button all the time. That's
it's crazy. We've been doing this for so long, and we still forget to mute, to play the intro.
Who is we?
Excuse me, everybody except for Scott.
And
what?
I don't miss the intro or the outro.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Never.
I'll tell you what. Why don't you go back and watch the entire playlist that's on all our channels, and you let me know. Well, almost all our channels, and and you let me know if I ever missed one.
You guys ain't right. All right. What else? Anything?
Well, I think we're going to be on RV on the Wayside next week. Is that correct, Donovan?
Yes.
Bingo. I'll try to get the little reminder up quicker this year. I'm only 5 days away from home still, but I'll try to get it up before I get.
Have we got enough videos?
I don't know. I don't think we have any right now. So
we don't. We need people to submit more videos, please.
Have we seen a video from Dora and Ed yet?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
we have. We saw the circus.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, we don't have one from Ford Man, aka Kenneth Oaks.
Yes.
We don't have from Nursing Our Travel Bug.
Yes, I don't think they're even here right now. I think they left us.
Doreen says we have an
They're probably
ongoing
eating
joke,
supper or
Steve
something.
Turtle and Jill. Then I call him. I'm Jake from State Farm.
State Farm.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
All
we
right.
got 1 minute. Sorry.
Jill says, "Who is that?" Jake from State Farm.
What are
I'll
you
post
wearing?
the how to do this again
Khakis.
as you get out.
All right. Speaking of chickens. All right, and just one quick reminder before we go. Has everybody remembered to rotate their tires? Thanks again for tuning in to VidLift, and we hope that you all have a wonderful week, and we'll see you next week on RV on the Wayside. And, hey, I should find the outro.